Hi, Lauren. Thank you so much for joining me on Empowered Podcast. It has been a pleasure catching up with you and watching all your awesome videos. You are my cousin, for those who don't know. You teach high school history. You have a background both studying and working in history and journalism. You started posting viral, humorous, bite-sized history lessons that inspire young students and older generations alike. You seamlessly blend major historic events with fun pop culture references and have an amazing gift for making learning entertaining and accessible, and share that gift so generously. Thanks for what you do, and again, for telling us your story. First off, what inspired you to post on social media, and what platforms are you on?
So I'm a classroom teacher. I'm a real teacher. I have a degree and a credential in history. I do sometimes at least know what I'm talking about. When TikTok came out, I started posting videos over there. And then, Instagram came out with Reels to sort of compete. So I started cross-posting my videos on both platforms, and they both sort of took off with the Gen Z history series at the same time. So I'm mainly on Instagram and TikTok. My students were the ones that really encouraged me, and they said, you should do lessons, like you should post about it. I said, do teenagers really go on TikTok to learn? And they were like, yes, yes, we do. Yes, we do. Gen Z is actually so awesome that them as teachers, or when they become teachers, history is going to be so much more accessible and fun and inclusive. And that's a great thing.
In your experience, what are some of the advantages and pitfalls of social media itself?
One of the great things about social media, for all the downsides, is it has democratized learning and who we can learn from. And we have access to all of these different experts on the ground or in their respective fields. Social media is not going away. So I think what we need to do now is foster how to use it responsibly. How do we find reliable information? How do we have responsible consumer habits? The internet was so new. I think most of our parents didn't really have those discussions with us. We need to be able to express them. Social media is good for this. It's not good for this. We should be on it for maybe this amount of time, not this amount of time. So as long as that's understood, I think social media is, for the most part, a positive thing. Media literacy is not really about, newspaper or television anymore. We need to be fostering media literacy and those skills among our students so that they can take the good parts of social media, which is learning new things, while, also understanding that there are limitations to what social media can do. So you can't really watch my video and say you have a complete understanding of a topic. It is limited. So it does require a deeper dive of more like traditional study.
How do you decide on topics for your videos?
When I started the series, we were just learning about the Russian Revolution, and it's just such a juicy, dramatic story all on its own without any type of flair. But it can be kind of hard to understand. So, I do have to break it down for the kids, not always so dramatically or humorously, but that's really what I do all day in class. That's what all teachers do. It doesn't really matter the vernacular. It's just being able to break it down in a way that can be understood. Then I just sort of kept going with different revolutions. Now I'll look ahead and think, Cinco de Mayo is coming up, or Mexican independence is coming up, or when there was the fires in Lahaina, people, were wondering about Hawaiian history. I think my next one is going to be about the Roman Empire. Sometimes I respond to what is going on, or like when the Cleopatra documentary came out, that was a big event. So I did one on that. So sometimes it's planned, but sometimes it's just really what we're learning in class. And I have all of the ideas fresh in my head and I'm inspired. So I try and write it down while I'm still in that zone before we move on to the next topic. Most of the time, my videos are just based on something funny that happened that day or something that I just want to share with my community.
History repeats, and those who don't know history are doomed to repeat it. History is often written by the victor, and there's lots of nuance and multiple perspectives at play. How do you keep history so fun and relatable, and why is that as important as accuracy and critical thinking?
I focus more on the concept, the theme, and the story. A critique that I hear every time is, this is not the whole story. You forgot this. And I'm like, of course I did. That's why you need to go out about, and hopefully I've inspired you to learn more. I think combining the pop culture references, like the movie references, the Taylor Swift references that I try and do in every video, what happens is the people who are history lovers learn about the new pop culture slang, and the people who, like me, are girly pop culture lovers learn about World War I. We always tell our students, you are a master of something when you can teach it. That is mastery, to be able to put things in colloquial or layman's terms. It's not a lack of understanding. It's actually more difficult to do. Social science has a history. History has a history of gatekeeping, of leaving people out and using language or other things to not give those people access to history because they don't want them to learn about it. I do still obviously think that academic vocabulary will come. My kids do write full 5-paragraph essays. I don't just do that for 1 minute and then we all hang out. That is important. But once they have the concept, the academic vocabulary comes naturally when you have the context for it. People think it has to be the other way around, and that's gatekeeping. And some people are doing that out of a pretentious way, and some people are doing it in a very nefarious way. But I'm so glad to see more women coming into social science, the younger generation, more diverse voices. That's changing slowly. If I'm even like a little part of that for some people, then that's wonderful.
I wish I had a teacher like you in high school. I hope your students know how lucky they are. Is it ever challenging keeping your students engaged and excited to learn?
Especially at the high school level, these kids are becoming young adults. These are our future leaders and future voters and future college students. So they're at an age where they really can understand these complicated topics. Shout out to all of the elementary history teachers, but it's very different when you're learning about something as a 7 or 8 or 9-year-old versus like a 17-year-old. That's what I really like about it is, they're coming in with good questions. They see, the injustices in the world. Like they just don't really know why it is that way. It's so much more like rewarding to me with this age group. I know some people are really afraid of the high schoolers, but I love it because I feel like we're really fostering meaningful discussions. They feel like for the first time, like the dialogue is elevated, like they can converse about these topics for the first time. I'm just kind of here to guide them and prepare them for college or civic life or the workforce or whatever it is they go into. I know they're not going to be history teachers probably, but they're going to have to vote. They're going to have to make decisions about, the policies that they support. They're going to have conversations and raise children. So like all of these things are necessary for us to know about. So like, as you said, Oli, so we can do better and not make the same mistakes. I would say most of my students don't come in excited to learn about history, but hopefully at least when they leave, even if they don't like it, they understand why it's important and, they feel a part of it. And like, that's really what I want to do.
Can you share a little bit about your own ancestry and your thoughts on preserving our elders and our own personal histories?
On my mom's side, my great-grandparents were from Sonora, Mexico. In California, especially Southern California, Mexican culture, Chicano culture is very prevalent. I myself, I didn't grow up speaking Spanish. When you're second or third generation, it's a little bit different. Reconnecting with that part of, my heritage and culture through history and, talking to the really special elders that we still have to tell us those stories has been really special to me. Like most people in Mexico, there's also like French and Spanish ancestry mixed in because of the history of, colonization. On my dad's side of the family, my grandparents are Hawaiian. When I say that, people who are not Hawaiian don't understand, but because of immigration and history, most people that are Hawaiian are mixed with some sort of islander, like Asian. There's a lot of, Chinese, Japanese, Puerto Rican, like those are all really common Hapa mixes in Hawaii. So everybody in Hawaii understands that people like don't always understand that. So they're like, wait, you're Hawaiian, but you're also like, your last name's Chinese. And I'm like, yeah, but like in Hawaii, like everybody, it makes sense over there. On my dad's side of the family, the culture is our Hawaiian culture. There's more ancestry mixed in with, Chinese and Puerto Rican because those were the immigrants that came to work in the sugar plantations. Like that's what our family, why they came there after after the native population was decimated. So that's why that mix, and also like the pidgin language, which was spoken on the plantations, because you had Hawaiian guys, Chinese guys, Puerto Rican guys that didn't speak the same language. And that's why the older people in our family sound like that and talk like that. But it's so empowering to have that knowledge. It's like really up to us to like learn this history and, pass it on. And it's like a huge responsibility. It's just really wonderful. Like, it was emotional for me when I got to do the Hawaii video, and, when other people that are Hawaiian or from Hawaii were commenting and liking it, and they felt represented. That meant like so much to me that I got it right.
How do you balance work, social media, and being a new mother?
I went viral on Instagram and TikTok when I was in my third trimester. It has been so amazing. It's shifted my perspective. I'm very tired. I have never been this tired. Social media is so fun. This whole journey is so great. But if it goes away one day, it doesn't matter. All that matters is my family and my daughter. I am very honored to be her mother. It's one of the most important jobs, and it is so undervalued in our society. For any moms who are watching or listening, it's really hard. Whatever choice women make, it's hard being a woman. It's hard no matter what you do. So to all the new moms out there who are also working or keeping their household together or raising children, it is such an important job, and I see you and I'm with you.
It's such a massive responsibility to teach children and young adults. What are some of the pressures you face teaching, and how can communities better support teachers like you?
Supporting teachers, especially teachers who work maybe in public education or with children. If you just can come to us first with any issues that you have, most teachers that I know are doing the best that they can with what they have, just not giving in to, political and, societal pitfalls of demonizing teachers. Most of the things that probably you don't like about public education, we probably don't like either, but we are out here doing the absolute best that we can. We care for your children. We want the best for them. We want them to succeed. We want to partner with parents and the community. In my community, the parents have been so supportive, because the best case scenario for our kids is when the student and the parent and the teacher are all on the same team and we're all trying to help that student achieve their goals. I really think just supporting teachers, whether it's in your heart, in your prayers, in your comment section, with your vote, whatever it is, however you can support teachers, we feel it. I'm on Instagram at laurencella, and I'm on TikTok at laurencella92, because I'm a millennial born in 1992. I appreciate all of you listening and taking the time to talk about history and support teachers, and hope everyone has a great day.